Back again with the second edition.
Cut.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Ty the Royal, and we're back again with the second edition of the Influencer Sphere Movement interview. And today, I was in the studio with our host Tapiwa, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. The last one wasn't so great because maybe we're starting out, but this time I promise you guys will like it. I hope you guys are tuned in, and I hope you guys follow us. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody alike, welcome back to our second edition of Influencer Sphere of the Influencer Sphere movement. Okay, start it again. All we have was each other. Thing that has been making waves across the internet. Thing that has had people hyping for the past several weeks. Last week we had our first interview and it was a major success. Today we have the headliner of our interviews today, the person who came about this whole idea and the person who has us gathered here today. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tapiwa and I'll be your host once again for our podcast for the Influencer Sphere movement. Welcome to our podcast today. One of our very own artists who's making waves in the industry. Good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Well, thank you. Would you kindly introduce yourself and just tell us who you are and what craft you major into?
Okay. My name is Thembelani Ndebele, popularly known as Ty the Royal, because I'm an artist. I mainly sing. Sometimes I dabble and rap a bit, but then I just touch anything that has to do with art. I really love. I dance a bit, I'm a poet, I'm a writer as well, and I'm also the founder of this movement. And yeah, that's mainly what I do, but mainly for my main focus is singing.
Okay. You have dabbled with a lot of craft, from poetry, writing, singing, dancing, to some extent. How long have you been molding this craft and turning it into a masterpiece? Like, with the talent that you already have and with the fact that you have started something so great that has people listening, how long have you been working on this thing? And yeah, just...
Alright, so for singing, I started singing when I was 4. I started singing in church, that's mainly how everybody...
You know the background of everyone, sorry,
I started singing in church with my brothers, and then over time, I realized that I did poetry before I could write music.
Okay.
So I used to sing, and then I would write poetry, to express how I felt, because I went through a lot in primary. So that's when I started my poetry. And then through that is when I then took the art of music writing. One day my friends said, well, why don't we turn your poetry into music? You already got the voice for it, so then I'm like, why not? And then I wrote this song for this girl, that's how it always starts.
There's always a girl involved in this story.
I wrote the singers. Yeah, I wrote the song for this girl who did not like me at all. It's life.
It's hard when you like them and they don't like you back.
Yeah. So I wrote the song, and then my friends really liked it. She actually liked it, but she hated my guts. So yeah. So that's how I started music. So I think my first song I was in grade 5. And then I only started recording music when I was in grade 4. It came about with the same as poetry. Right. And then all the other things just because of my love for art.
Alright. So before we get to the introduction of the Influencer Sphere movement, you're also the founder of a recording label.
Yes, sir.
Would you please tell us how you got to that extent? Like, you started off as an artist. What led you, or what made you think of starting a recording company? And what name did you give to that recording company, and what led to you giving it that name?
Okay. So I've always prided myself as being a person with very big dreams.
Okay.
And as a Zimbabwean, you're not allowed to have big dreams like the ones I have. Most of them you can't achieve them. But then my dad always used to be a big dreamer, so I think I took it from him. Right. And then so as soon as I started singing, I always knew I wanted to one day have my own label. You know, so the idea has been with me for as long as I've been singing.
So it's already been in the pipeline before you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It progresses and it changes over the years.
Yeah.
You know, because I get older, I get more mature, so I know that the system that I always had in place changes a bit. You know, but then the idea has always been with me. And then I met a friend of mine, Ace. We've been friends for 8 years now. I met him when I was in Form 1. And meeting him actually propelled me to now really want to start that label. Because we both had the same drive and the same passion for it. So yeah, but he's always given me that drive to then actually start it. So then I officially launched the label in 2020 during COVID. Initially, I was helping out a friend of mine that I used to go to school with, with his label. And then from that, I just drifted into my own label, and then I officially launched it online in 2020. I had mostly my friends help me out with it, my friends and family helped me out with it, And then last year, that's when we officially launched having our own studio and our own base of operations. The system became a bit more in place, and then we just got the company registered recently. Yeah, so that's how it came about. And then the name, it's a bit biblical for me, because I'm a strong Christian, so there's always that verse that says we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, So I've always believed I'm one of God's favorite children. I'm his son, and as such, he's the king, so that makes me royalty. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the name came about. The label is called Royalty Entertainment. So we are royal, we are from a royal bloodline. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. Even the motto, no stress for the blessed. As blessed people, we shouldn't have stress. We shouldn't be stressed about anything. So yeah, that's how it came about. It's come from a biblical sense.
Alright, so under Royalty Entertainment, how many artists do you have signed under your label? And what are some of the challenges that you actually face in promoting these artists and even yourself as an individual, because you're also an artist at the end of the day. You don't only run the recording label, but you also have to perform. How did you manage to get the base of establishment with the people and the industry as well? Because we all know the entertainment industry is not an industry for someone who is weak. You have to get in. When you get in, you have to push all the way, because you don't get to the level where all these Takuras, the Japanese, the Winky D's are, and you are just weak. Everything that just comes about you pushes you to the side. How did you get to you work around the system and try to make sure that you fit into the industry?
Okay. So for your first question, how many artists do we have? There's a lot. Alright? There's a lot. Because the whole idea behind Royalty was to sign anyone and everyone who has a talent, who is an amazing talent that people are not recognizing.
So we can say around 50, 60 to 100.
Yeah, because some of them aren't officially signed. We work with a lot of people. Some people work with us, but they actually don't have contracts. Because for me, it's not about the contract. It's about giving those people a platform to
an opportunity to do
something. Giving someone an opportunity to come and record with me for free, or for a small amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Smaller than what they charge. You know how these people.
We have.
So the idea behind it was to shine a light on this, because you'll find that the most talented people are the underrated ones.
Yeah, definitely. The underdogs.
So people who go to our channel, they'll actually see the most talented people are the ones that are underrated. So that's what the whole idea behind it was. So officially on paper, I have 30 something artists. I have 35 artists, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the ones that signed. Those are including producers. But then unofficially, I work with over 50 people. Because a lot of people who I haven't signed or who haven't signed with me yet. Because also I don't want somebody to be bound by a contract.
Yeah.
Because I also don't like being bound by a contract. Because there's a lot of ambiguities with contracts. There's a lot of hidden clauses.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't like that binding in person. I like people working free Yeah. So the challenges that I've faced with getting these people recognition is people don't like being the first to recognize something. They like things that are already established, and then they go for that. They go and like recognize that. For example, right now, if I go to a show, right? If I say I'm having a show, people won't come. But if I say I'm having a show with Tapiwa, people will come. And it's not
the name.
Yeah, it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? But then, I also think that we have to give people an opportunity, to show you first, and then you can deny them after. You know what I'm saying? So that's sort of one of the challenges that I've been facing is like trying to get people to actually pay attention. It's also because of maybe the quality of music that we do hasn't reached where it's supposed to be, or we don't have the contacts that we're supposed to have, we don't have the exposure, But we've done a bit of shows, but that's actually what drives me to keep going, because the shows that we've had, for people who have not, like a small crowd, they've been big. You know what I'm saying? And then one of the ways that we've tried to beat that is to perform in schools.
Yeah,
because those are the people that really
space.
go for these shows.
Yeah.
Perform at schools, make waves at schools, and then those people at schools will make their moms listen, their dads listen. So that's how we've been beating it. That's how we've been trying to fight the system. Perform at schools first, and then get the recognition at schools, and then move from there.
Well, my grandma's proud to see, hoping future's who I'll be when the pressure.
So, under Royalty Entertainment, what are some of the achievements that you've had? Because you started officially on paper in 2020, during the time when COVID was so rampant and there was a lot of caves. What have you achieved from?
When life comes for the second round, Dad, I hope I'll make you proud. I'll make you proud. Dad, I hope I'll make you proud.